All right, we are back. Talking Tea, episode 4 of Andor. We are back. We have our tea. This is Eric. I'm drinking some white tropic tea, orange blossom honey in it. Aaron, what are we drinking tonight?
I have some Lemon Duane white tea with some raspberry honey.
Nice. Herb, what are we drinking?
Just got plain old oolong tea with plain old honey.
Beautiful. Connor, what are we drinking tonight?
Water.
Skylar, what are we drinking tonight?
The classic tea known as Diet Coke.
That's what they call nature's tea.
Exactly.
Well, we are back and really expanded our notes for these next episodes as the plot thickens, and we are getting into a lot. So I wanted to start by actually just reading a little bit of the plot lines, the synopsis of it, and then we can kind of go back through the episode. So just reading it for episode 4, Aldhani. Luthen takes Cassian to the planet Aldhani, asking him to join a sabotage mission there to provide backup. Cassian is reluctant, but eventually agrees. Luthen asks him to use a pseudonym among the rebels, and Cassian chooses Clem. Vel, the rebel group's leader, introduces him to the rest of the group, but keeps Luthen's involvement a secret. They explain to Cassian that they are on a plan to destroy an Imperial garrison, a key supply hub for the Empire, by taking advantage of a rare natural phenomenon in Aldhani sky, and of course stealing the payroll of that garrison. Meanwhile, on Coruscant, Luthen, posing as an art dealer, meets with Senator Mon Mothma, and they discuss challenges in keeping their opposition to the Empire hidden. Karn visits his mother after being castigated and placed on leave. So, first note I had right at the beginning, and I think is really important and split, I think, amongst us. Who watches this show with subtitles? Because I do. I think it helps a lot.
On my rewatch for note-taking, I've been watching with subtitles, but generally I do not, because I get too wrapped up in reading the subtitles versus actually enjoying the show.
Yeah, I'm the same. I typically do not watch things with subtitles, but for the sake of this, I've started watching this with subtitles.
I find that I can't hear anything, so I always watch shows with subtitles.
I have not put on subtitles for this series as of yet.
Subtitles have helped me a lot with getting people's names down. And I think as the series goes, we're going to keep seeing why that becomes challenging, because I think we will keep getting new characters. Obviously, we just went from a whole cast of characters on Ferrix, and they're completely left behind. Now we had a new set of characters in this episode arc. And it took a lot of time for me to be like, now what is that person's name? What is this person's name? I felt like that was really helpful, especially because they aren't common. You know, they're spelled differently, not names you hear traditionally in your classrooms, I assume, but I could be wrong.
I got a couple Clems that I know very well.
A mimic or two here and there.
Connor, are you calling roll and getting a few Terramins?
Yeah, I get some unique ones, but not that one.
Maybe that'll be in the future. Maybe Andor will really spark something for us. Good marks. So, as we talked, Cassian, he's getting pulled off of Ferrix, and they are starting this heist, and Luthen's saying, hey, we gotta get you in. Now, the first notes that I have as we're on the ship to Aldhani is I just kept seeing the things over and over and thinking, who is naming these things? I feel like Star Wars is very dynamic, and they name things very uniquely. In the first episode, or in that first scene, we have a med pack is needed, and then we also got to drink a med nog. And I'm like, can we not come up with anything better? We're just going med everything on the nose like that. I think eventually we get a med spike as well, so I just felt like the naming was really poor across the board if we just have to say med this and med that. And why are there so many different forms of med? Why do they have to be in all these different forms?
Science.
That's more of a you and Herb question. I don't know.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, you know, targeting different mechanisms of action for healing.
Yeah.
You think it's like a big deal that they have a med spike versus a med nog? What is the med nog targeting that's so different than our med pack?
Heal, but you also need to be festive.
Yeah, I just thought we could have been a lot better with our naming.
It's probably for like exposition for the audience to understand that this is explicitly for healing. You know, if they just used a random name for a healing item, I don't know if the audience would know that it's actually being used to help Cassian.
Yeah.
But it's funny because Star Wars is known for just using very abstract names for random things, and there's like a billion planets in their galaxy, and they just randomly make up things all the time. So it's so funny that you brought that up.
Yeah, I thought, I just really thought it was on the nose for them. I have a quote, Luthen talking to Cassian, and he says, "I imagine you'll die fighting the Empire."
I have that same quote, ultimately die fighting for these bastards, Luthen to Andor. Very classic, especially if you've seen what happens in Rogue One. Very funny foreshadowing.
It's like
Rogue
poetry.
One, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
No spoilers. No spoilers.
That doesn't exist in this universe yet.
Well,
Say that.
It does, because Rogue One came out before Andor, so... It does.
I think he refers to the timeline, doesn't he?
Yes, he refers to the timeline. I'm talking about the release in our cinematic universe.
What does Luthen offer Cassian? Like, what is the payout on this?
200,000 credits.
200,000 credits. And that's a bunch. And he gives him the Kyber crystal in exchange. It's like collateral. Does anyone know what the Kyber crystal is usually used for?
It is
Lightsabers.
power lightsabers.
That's correct. That's correct. So why Luthen
It
has
also
one?
powers the Death Star.
All right. Why Luthen has one, I find very interesting. But
Well, he's an antiquities dealer, so he deals with a bunch of different antiquities. I mean, I'll talk about it in a little bit, about his shop intro, but...
He also kind of, like, indicates that is sentimental, because he says, like, don't sell it for less than 50,000, but just know it's always worth more to me. You
And he
know?
wants it back.
So I don't know where he got it, but like it seems to be something that like means something to him.
Right, and it could also just be like memory to the Jedi and part of the Resistance itself is why it means so much to him. But we don't really get clarification on that.
Yeah.
One thing I will talk about. Oh, hold on. That when Cassian and Luthen are talking the ship, Cassian talks about the Alliance, the Seth, the Guerrilla, and the Partisan Front, which are all different rebel groups, which ultimately come together and form the Alliance, the Rebel Alliance. And the Partisan Front, fun fact, is the group that Saw Gerrera is the leader of, that later on in the series we get to know a little bit more about.
yeah, Saul Gerrera, I believe and he's in Mandalorian, The Mandalorian. He's obviously in Rogue One, and we see him in Bad Batch, I believe. We all know the plan right now. Anything more on the like Luthen and Cassian, that exchange?
Ooh, yes, I have one more good nugget that I noticed. Cassian talks about how he got out of his youth prison detention and fought on Mimban for 2 years. And then he was trapped in the mud there for 2 years, which that's the same mud that he's referring to where Han Solo meets Chewbacca and fought. They both fought there at the same time, so there's a fun little
Really
fact.
brought the notes.
Yeah, I did bring those for
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So
It's amazing.
yeah, everyone remembers that. If you watch Solo, that scene of him and Chewie meeting for the first time. So very cool. Great callback. So
Yeah,
wondering
so
if they were there at the same time or not.
Yeah, there's a possibility that Han and Andor could have met on that planet when they were there fighting. Which we also learn in this episode, they're just fighting each other the whole time. Which is classic Imperial tactics.
Got it. So they were. I wondered about that earlier. That fight, they were fighting each other. It was basically just.
They got the citizens of the planet to basically fight each other and kill everyone. And Cassian says only 50 people escaped.
Dang. Very good. So we actually get that cut back to Coruscant after we get the drop. And I believe this is the first time in live action since episode 3 that we see Coruscant. Am I wrong about that? In that timeline?
No, it's the first time. This whole episode is from Aldhani, Coruscant, to Aldhani, back to Coruscant. Just back and forth the whole episode.
I think that was the first time we've seen Coruscant. I was pretty hyped to see it in daylight, too. You know, I feel like in the prequels, it was always at night.
True.
For some reason.
Yeah, episode 2, we kind of get the chase in the dead of night, but yeah. Also, Order 66 at night.
Yeah.
So, first scene, they show that security building. Is that the ISB? Is that what it stands?
ISB, yeah.
ISB. So my question was it was lifted and like kind of in the middle of Coruscant. My question is this where the Jedi Temple was? Did anyone have that thought?
I've never noticed. I don't know.
It's in the middle. It's in a prominent space. It's kind of lifted. It might not be high enough, but I thought like kind of how the structure was. I wonder if they tore it down and put that back up in its place.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, now we finally get Dedra introduced into this whole episode, and you can tell that she's going to be important. You know, she seems very sharp. She seems to be, you know, digging in places that maybe the rebel factions don't want her digging. We get introduced to her in this meeting. I think winning character in this set of episodes for me is my guy Major Partagaz. I feel like Connor would really like Major Partagaz.
Why?
Remind me, who is he?
Major Partagaz is the guy that leads the meetings of the
Why do you
Empire.
think Connor would like him?
I feel like he likes his meeting style. Major Partagaz just goes through everything so fast. He just annihilates people too. It's like, what's your report? Oh, you're an idiot. Next. I'll get someone else to do that. It's just like nonstop, just flying right through this. No wasted time, no wasted words, no wasted breaths. Partagaz is just flying through that meeting. He's like, we have no time to listen to your inadequacies. We are getting jobs done.
What do you think, Connor?
When I watched that through, that was not my thought, but
Didn't think so
Okay.
either.
I guess maybe I have a hot take on this one. I feel like he is like a pretty good boss. Like,
That's
I know
what I
that,
think.
you know, sometimes he might be like quickly dismissive, but at the same time, like, I feel like he, like a lot of like the, like, people you see in the Empire are like just there to get like what they want for themselves, where he's actually there to like just do his job, get the job done, make sure everybody like is doing what they need to do, you know.
Yeah, I feel like you guys focused on his leadership a lot. After he said that the resistance is a disease that they have to eradicate, like germs, I kind of stopped paying attention to anything good that he does.
I
yeah,
have a
I'm
note
not-
right here that whole speech basically parallels the ISB,
Nazi.
the Nazi SS group.
Yes.
They root out sickness, find the germs, and get them rid from
Yeah.
the body.
I wrote down the same. exact
Notice I
thing.
did not say he was a good guy.
Yeah, but once he said that, I was not like, oh, how are his leadership qualities?
Man, you got to see everything in a different angle. We just see it in the angle of Andor instead of, you know, if we were
Fair enough.
if we were impartial. So I will say,
Man, this guy sucks. I'm gonna stop paying attention to whatever else he tries to do.
I will say, and your point, Herb, when he says we are healthcare providers, and then he said all that stuff, I wrote down. It just made me feel icky as a healthcare provider. He's like, we're healthcare providers, and then he says this stuff. I'm like, ew, I don't like sharing the title. I don't know. He says we
We're
treat.
healthcare providers. We eradicate germs.
Yeah. He said we treat sickness, we identify symptoms, we locate germs. The longer it goes where we don't find it, the harder it is to treat it. And I'm like, icky. Don't like that. I said in a follow-up note, I should go into work and I'm just gonna start saying my job is like the Empire from Star Wars. Like, we're very similar in our roles. I don't think my patients would be like, oh, I'm done seeing you. Yeah. I think that's enough visits with you, pal. But he does have Partagaz has some quick ones, because he's flying through like person after person. And Aaron, like you said, he's trying to get the job done, and I think he does a good job of, like, he knows everyone around him are basically just like doing it all for themselves, and he loves to like smash them, like just annihilate them. He's like, you're trying to act all high and mighty, you are nothing. Like, I know you think you're something, you are nothing. So I remember he asked, like, how is it going? And some guy's like, I don't know, we got a team on the ground. And he goes, well, they've done a good job so far, next. And it's just like sass, and then immediately breaks from it. He asks some guys, like, hey, what is our mission? And the guy doesn't answer in like a millisecond. And he's like, I'll open up to the room. He's like, oh, you're done. You have no more shots. I'm like, this guy's insane. Just completely savage with all his moves.
Another thing I noticed during their reports of their different sectors, they talk about an increase in construction materials to Scarif, and that's them building the Death Star. But that shows how much of a secret project it was that the ISB didn't even know that was going on.
Yeah, I had in my notes Scarif. Obviously, that's where they're building the Death Star above Scarif, and they are housing the plans to the Death Star on Scarif. So a lot of like that little Easter egg they throw in there, I thought was really, really neat. And like I said, talk about an efficient meeting. This guy just right down the line, everything. Like even Blevin, he's kind of like halfway impressed with. He flies through that. He's like, meet with me before we go. Okay, next. Just nothing about that is wasted resources. That guy is a man on business. So we go back to Aldhani in that point, and we get to see Luthen talking with Vel. Vel making this big trip to come to meet with Luthen, talk, and eventually get Cassian, aka Clem. I said Cassian does not at all look like a Clem. I thought we could have had a better name. Not fit the bill.
I think you could go for a Clem.
Really?
It's also like a callback.
Of course.
You know, so that's kind of why. But yeah, I don't know.
Anyone else's opinions on him being a Clem?
Why is it a callback?
What is it? The callback is to Clem is the guy that was with Marva when they found him.
Yeah, his adopted dad.
His adopted dad, so that's why he chooses the name Clem.
We can catch that, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess you couldn't go with Marva. That's fair.
Yeah.
So Luthen's like, stay inside. She will not like you being here. And he's like, wait, what? And they go out there, and he's talking to Vel. And he has this classic, like, he has this quote. Luthen's like, this guy's good. He's not afraid to kill. And I'm like, yeah, he definitely got that one right. He is not at all afraid to kill. He will do that. Clem will do that in a heartbeat. I also had, if we would have had the soundboard, this is another one I would have sent, that Luthen's like, yeah, I'm not paying anyone else, but Cassian's getting paid. I really wanted that. We are the Millers. Like, you guys getting paid?
No,
Clip.
that'd be going.
Because, yeah, he's getting paid $200,000, and she's like, we are eating roots and sleeping on rocks. And I'm like, you're eating roots? You had a sheep, or whatever that goat thing was. Like, they had options. They didn't have to eat
for the
roots.
love of the game.
That's true. And Luthen, man, I just think Luthen, every part of his serious dialogues, I can't get enough of. Like, Stellan Skarsgård plays this, he plays it so well. Where he is just sitting there, and like, when he's talking to Vel, and Vel looks away, and like mid-conversation he yells, "Look at me." I was like, oh. Like, I looked up from my notes. I was like, okay, whatever you tell me to do, man. Like, just really commands that whole rebellion. Let's see. We shift over then from Aldhani to Morlana 1, and we get to see the firing of everyone, including, unfortunately, Linus. You see Blevin here, just yelling, and I just laugh at... he's getting fired, and Linus raises his hand. It's
That
like...
was hilarious.
Blevin's like, seriously? It's like, man, he has a... Just let him talk, Blevin. He's a man of character. And
I really needed to hear that Scottish accent one more time.
I really want to know what he was gonna say.
yeah, so obviously we shift from, like, Pre-Mor was over that planet, right? Like, the security, and then the Empire is like, okay, you're not allowed to do this anymore. We gotta do it for you. That's what I understood.
Basically, yeah.
Got it. But yeah, unfortunately we see our friend get fired. Karn and Linus and the guy that we didn't know, and he's like, I didn't even know about it. And they're like, shut up. We don't care about your thoughts. But I'm sure he was not too thrilled with
You think we'll
Karn.
ever see Linus back again? Or is he done for the series?
I'm thinking he's done. I don't think we get a call back to Linus, unfortunately. Plays his role well and leaves.
Yep.
So we go back to Aldhani, we get the walk back with Vel and Cassian, and I wrote, how is Vel the leader? She can't even walk without a limp. Did anyone notice her limp?
Oh yeah.
I did not notice her limp.
Yeah, she's like halfway, she's just limping around. I'm like, how are you in charge of this mission?
I noticed that she just kept saying, it's a long walk, it's a long walk.
Yeah, it
That
made
is
me
true.
say, she said it's a day's journey or something like that. She walked that thing, no podcast, no iPad, like no iPod, nothing. It's like,
Her attention span's not cooked.
I'm like, what did she do on that walk? She had a day's journey just to walk, and she's just there with her thoughts. Like, man,
Plan
that's a
out the
rough
mission.
walk. I guess. I like how Cassian finds out what they're doing. They're taking on the garrison. He's like, you're taking on an entire garrison? How many are there? And she just doesn't miss a beat. You make 7. She's like, yeah, I don't know. We got this. But Cassian does not seem convinced, to say the least, of this plan working out.
Which I thought was a little bit funny because, like, a few episodes before that, which I understandably this is a bigger operation, but when he's talking to Luthen for the first time, he's like, they don't even care if you steal from them, they're so arrogant. And now, like, 2 episodes later, he's like, you're gonna steal from them? Yeah.
True. That's true.
Remember when you were down for that? Yeah, we're just doing what you wanted. But what's any early? Well, we'll get there. I guess we'll get there. I'm just jumping. I'll keep jumping back and forth. We go to Coruscant and we get to see Luthen wig up, and my goodness, I did not expect that hair to fit so well. Really pulling off the early Chancellor Palpatine look from like episode 1 and 2, like the flow. Yeah, I wonder if that was like kind of like, oh, people wanted to look like famous dictators. Was that the vibe of the time? Like how he matched? It's like everyone wanted to look like him.
I totally agree with that was the plan. Like that's people were very interested in looking like someone who's the most powerful person in the galaxy.
Yeah.
True. I was taking notes and I looked up and I was like, Luthen's a cross-dresser?
He's just
shocked.
keeping you on his toes.
And then I figured out that it's his other identity.
Yeah, he comes into the belly of the beast, but him in that mirror when he has that fake smile is just like really like chilling to me.
Unsettling, yeah.
Yeah, like that he can turn it on and off like that.
Well,
Like-
even his voice when he's in the shop is just so much different than when he's, like you said, like talking to Vel or something like that.
Yeah,
It's
for
like
watching
a higher octave, you know?
that like 5-second scene where he like puts all the stuff on and then just like turns it on and then like turns it straight back off and walks away is like, it was pretty crazy.
I do have a little Easter egg. Luthen tells the droid that the droid has controls of the aircraft to land. That's a big aviation thing. Of when you're like giving someone else control of the aircraft, you say you have controls. So I thought that was a really cool little thing that they put in there
Oh,
from an aviation perspective.
I would have never known that.
Skylar
So-
coming from the military corner of the podcast.
Oh yeah, military corner. Love the military corner.
Oh, I have another comment from military corner once we talk about our next scene in Aldhani.
Oh, good. We'll have to save it for the end, and when we get through the episode, we'll send it over to Military Corner. We're there in Aldhani. We come back after Luthen walks in the belly beast. We switch back, and first thing I write down is that Ben Grimm the Thing from the Fantastic Four? It was. Ben Grimm, aka the Thing, aka Skeen, is just part of the Rebel fight. And I'm like, Ben Grimm, who knew? And then we get to see our first glance of Nemec falling asleep on guard, which is not great. And the Thing says, yeah, everyone's dead now. So
that was my comment from the military corner that happens all the time, like especially on training exercises and whatnot, that people literally have that exact same watch. It's called a fire watch, and they fall asleep on it all the time.
that makes me feel good about the safety of our country.
It's usually during training exercises, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, happens. You know, people are sleepy.
Does anyone have any opinions on the crew? We have Ben Grimm and Nemec. Well, Skeen and Nemec. We get Terramin. We get Sinta. And I don't believe we get Gorn yet. So any early impressions on this crew? Do we feel like, oh, they got a shot at this? Like, they're going to do well? Or does anyone have no faith in this crew?
It's like every heist movie ever. It's a random crew of ragtag people that it's just gonna work somehow.
I do like first impressions, the kind of, I don't know what to call it because it's not like I don't know, but just like the kind of dynamic between Skeen and Nemec, like it's kind of like a brotherly dynamic almost. Like you can tell that Skeen is kind of like a hardened guy, like hardened by life, but he's got like a soft spot for this kid that he sees a lot of like passion in, you know? So, like that's an interesting relationship.
Connor, what's your thoughts on the team?
A little early for me to gauge. I didn't have much thoughts on them really at the beginning.
Yeah, it is definitely tough to maybe figure out all the way. But I don't know. I feel like it does get interesting seeing them and their distrust, except for, of course, Nemec. Nemec is a very trusting person. That reminds me of, like, the Grinch meme. What does he say? It's like, sweet girl, bad judgy character. And that's how I felt with Nemec. Just like, maybe thought people were good when maybe they could have been better.
Also, during that conversation between Skeen and Nemec, Skeen basically says that won't fly with Saw Gerrera and their crew, basically insinuating that their ultimate goal is to join up with Saw Gerrera, and that Nemec would be killed if he was caught asleep on that Outwatch duty. So that was kind of cool. Another callback to Saw Gerrera and the other different factions of the Alliance that are currently working at this time.
Yeah, and obviously it's a long way from the merger of them all, but we get to meet some big pieces in that merger in this series, which is exciting. Let's see here. After that initial meeting, we do go back to Coruscant one more time, and then we get to finally see like Karn and the aftermath of his firing, of his termination. And you see that he's walking home, he has his belongings, and he's going downward on Coruscant. Does anyone know what that means?
Yeah, that's anything below the main level is basically a sign of poverty because they can't see the sun.
Yeah, so the lower you get on Coruscant is the poorer that you are. So you can see that long, and of course it's probably figurative as well, like that long trip down from being at the highest of the high, and you just see Karns keep going down, kind of showing where he is at that point, mentally as well as with his job. But
yeah, how he's fallen from grace, pretty much.
Yep, absolutely.
That's a cool little tidbit. I didn't know that about Coruscant, so that's cool.
Yeah,
That definitely puts that scene in a new perspective. Yeah.
In episode 2, that's why all the criminals and like the Death Sticks guy, they're all on the main level of Coruscant, because that's the main level is where the drifters and criminals kind of start, and it just gets worse the lower you get.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you'll see at the end of one of the episodes, and I can't remember if it's this one or not, Karn is looking out his bedroom window, and he sees the reflection of the sun. Like, he can't even see the sun, that's how far it is, but he sees that little reflection of the sun, just showing, like I said, how far he goes. The only question, the note I have is, why on earth does Karn get pimp slapped immediately by his mom? Just immediately gets popped.
Yeah, his mom doesn't seem like a great person.
I got more notes on his mom, but anyone have any theories on that? Just absolutely whops him.
It's almost like he ran away to join the military without approval, almost.
I felt like she was ashamed that he was a part of the Empire.
Oh.
Yeah, that too.
That was when she slapped him. I was like, oh, she's a friendly.
Possibly, although without giving up too much, I don't think that is going to turn out to be the case.
Well, you just gave it away.
Well, it doesn't really. It's not giving up any plot details, but even in her other dealings in these episodes, in the next 2 that we're going to talk about, she gets him another job in the Empire.
Yeah,
so,
you're right. That's true.
That's not in this episode though.
No, but it's within the group of 3.
Is it?
Trilogy.
Yeah, it is.
It is within the group of 3.
It's the very opening of the
100%.
next scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or next episode.
But I don't. Anyway, we get after Karn and his fall, we get to see Mon Mothma really for the first time, and I just love my favorite scene of the whole episode is probably just this specific scene where they go into the back, just because I love the camera work. I don't know if anyone caught that as they go back. So Luthen is of course faking this big extravagant, I'm this antiquities dealer, this and that, and as they go in the back, the camera pans from one side of Mon Mothma to the other, and it's facing Luthen. And if you go back and look, you'll see as the camera starts, Luthen's in that fake smile. He's in that really big, like, cheesy, like, you know, oh, it's like, all's good. And that camera goes right behind Mon Mothma's back and then to the other side. And as it switches past, his composure, his everything changes. It's like that weird snap that he can just turn it on and off. And as soon as that camera pans past Mon Mothma on the other side, that's the flip of the switch to, okay, we got to get down to business. You got to tell me what's up. And he's very serious as back to the rebellion. And I just love that camera movement so well. I don't know if anyone else caught that.
I didn't, but I need to go back and watch it now. I love crap like that.
I did catch it, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I really feel like some of these like expositional episodes, like episode 1, 2, now 4, 5. I feel like Luthen really stands out as like the main, like the most interesting character. And then obviously like the 3rd and 6th episode is going to be a little more action based, but Luthen really stands out for these ones.
Luthen stands out so much because he's so mysterious. Like, we're getting a lot of background on, like, Mon Mothma and Cassian, of course, and the rebels and whatever it is. But Luthen, we don't really know what he's doing or why he's doing it. Like, we don't even know how big of a part he is playing in this stuff. It's so fascinating to kind of see him flesh out little by little. Anyone's thoughts on the Mon Mothma's house? Anyone, when we get to that scene? Like, what are your thoughts?
Like white and gold.
Just a hospital. It's like too clean.
I said, this is nice. Like, this is crazy. It is.
Those vaulted ceilings.
Mm-hmm. Man, I mean, obviously up top level of Coruscant, very nice, white and gold. The chandeliers are just giant. Like, this, you can tell how wealthy you are if you're in the Senate, if you're in that role. What's the opinions on Perrin? What's your guys' early thoughts on Perrin, the husband?
That he hates his wife, and if he found out anything that she was doing with the Rebel Alliance, that he would turn her in immediately.
Not even because he likes the Empire, just because he hates her.
He hates her.
He is, to me, like quintessential peaked in high school bro, you know?
And latched himself to a successful woman.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, not a massive fan of that guy.
Like, he just golfs on the weekends and just lives his life, you know?
Oh, and teaches their daughter to hate her as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh man, we'll get there. Oh, that's infuriating too. But
one of the lines that he said, one of the lines he says in that scene, like perfectly like illustrates how much he hates her. He was like, "You're at the boring end of the table. These people are fun."
Oh yeah,
so cruel.
Speaking of those people, like when I was rewatching it with subtitles, I saw the name of the people he invites to dinner, and one of the group is from the Grand Vizier's chamber, which that's the guy who helps Palpatine like take over. He's the like I don't want to say lizard-looking guy, but
what color skin is he?
I think it's blue. I don't know.
Okay, I know exactly who you're talking about then. Yeah.
Yeah.
When
The one
you posed
says
that
to
question, I was like, this podcast is getting canceled real quick. What's the color of his skin? That's how I'm going to decide. And we say blue, and we're like, all right, cool. All right. That's not a real skin color.
The same one that basically like insinuates to Jar Jar to nominate.
Yes.
For emergency powers.
I love these Skylar Easter eggs. These are
Good job, Skylar. Really coming in today.
Studied.
My favorite acting of the entire episode is the maid.
Oh yeah.
The maid who walks in and they're like, "Get out of here!" and she just walks back out. Gets no lines. The rest of the show, we don't get her again. It's just she's like, she walks in and walks out, and that's the end of that. It's like, man, who sold her on that role? It's like, all right, you're gonna play this maid. You're gonna be in a scene, and they're not even gonna see your face, just your back. Like, okay.
If I got offered that role, I would take it in a heartbeat. No.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still awesome. But yeah, I said this. The husband seems to be a delightful hater. Just like delights in the hating. He can't get enough.
Yeah, seriously, just call his wife boring.
Yeah,
Savage.
dude, that's a wild statement.
I did just have a thought though on if it does get discovered that she's helping, maybe he's gonna turn into like the ultimate good guy and be like, oh, my wife is actually a really good person and is fighting up against, and maybe he has like an arc, a successful arc story that we end up
like
liking
comes
him.
around.
Would be an interesting character arc. Because like in this episode, you don't see an ounce of
Not
that
at all.
You know?
But maybe that's why he resents his wife, because he thinks that she just plays the game. But I don't know. We'll see.
That's a very Namek view you have. Let's see how that one pays off.
It is crazy though that the Empire kept the Senate, and they kept all the old people who were already in seats in the Senate, like a part of the Senate. They didn't reinstall a bunch of new like politicians. They just kept a bunch of the old ones.
I think at the point that they took over, they had like swayed the opinion of most of them.
True.
You know.
Yeah, and we'll see as we keep going the demise, and you can see where the Senate actually gets to. Just like what actually matters, especially when Mon Mothma's talking. We'll kind of see, like, is the Senate even a thing that matters? But
Was
we'll
that
get.
this episode or was that later?
It's
on?
not. It's coming up.
Like
I have a note
85
on that whenever we get to it.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
All right, was that close to the end of this episode?
Yeah, we just have to finish out with the hate between Dedry and Blevin. She has been fighting for authorization to go on his planet or whatever, and he's like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And then they have this meeting, and again, Partagaz, what a guy. The door barely opens, and he just says, speak! It's like it's just, and they're like, oh, blah, 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 and they're talking about it, and he's like, okay, your reports aren't in, his are, you know, whatever. It's like, come on, and he says we gotta act on hard and fast evidence, which again gets to the that superiority complex, that feeling of like we are impenetrable, that they don't act on these things when they probably should, but. I also laughed at Partagaz. He's not just hard and fast. He's not a hater, necessarily. Like, he drops Dedry a compliment. Like, he says something about, like, how well she's doing with her inmates, or, like, how many she has. And he also says the standard's higher for her. This is one thing I wanted to close on. Why do you think he says that? Why do you think the standard's higher for Dedry?
For Deidre? I think it's because she's a woman, and in the Star Wars universe, especially in the Empire, you see very, very few women that are officers and have like any sort of like say or power.
That is true. I also wonder if she's a daughter of someone very important that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, I went like the women's side first because there are two. It's her. I thought it was Dedry. It could be Deidre. But the other woman that's there is the first woman in the first meeting who gets absolutely roasted. Like, roasted hard. Like, he is not thinking she did a good job at all. And she just gets ripped apart by Partagaz.
The other reason I think it's like a women thing is because she only has 2 sectors while the other ones average like 6. And I had to look this up because I wasn't sure how many planets were in a sector. It's an average of 10.
Yeah.
So she has 20 planets while the other guys are watching over 60. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's probably just sexism.
Yeah. So, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes, as in, like, she's on to something, we think. It's possible. But she's going to be on the case with this stuff, and if they are dismissive of, like, her, like, from the jump, like, she might be catching stuff that they would deny. And I think we're starting to see that with, like, the rebellion in its infancy. And maybe just another reason why we see the rebels grow and that operation work. The last thing I want to say is his interaction, Partagaz's interaction with Dedry, is he compliments her at the end and immediately goes, "We're done," and walks out. She doesn't even get to reply. Just her. He just says something and was like, "We're done," and he walks out. Like, he has no time for anything. No time for flattery, nothing. The man is a man that is just nonstop. I just love that.
Busy guy.
He is. He's no nonsense. I really like him. Great performance. Anything else that I missed on as we close out?
I need a second to look at my notes, and I'll let you know.
While you're looking at that, favorite lines. Luthen at the beginning, he looks at Cassian and says, "You're bleeding on my floor." It's like Cassian's been in this huge fight and like blown the way out of Ferrix, and he's in there and he's like, "You're bleeding on my floor." Like, so sorry about that.
I think my favorite line is right after that, where Luthen says, like, "Do you want to do something meaningful and make an impact all at once, or like cut off like little chunks until there's nothing left?" That's a great line.
Yeah. I also like when Lieutenant Gorn meets Cassian the first time, and he keeps getting mad, and he keeps asking who it is, and then he finally looks at Vel, and he's like, "Who's he?" And she says, "He's Clem." It's like, I've said it 4 times. He's Clem.
Yeah.
Just listen.
My note from that scene is Lieutenant Gorn not happy.
Immediately, he barely gets in
Clem.
visual sight, and he's just flipping out. Oh man. Hottest take for me: Vel should not be the leader. She has a noticeable limp. She cannot physically handle the toll this mission takes.
And when it came down to a decision to start the mission, she froze.
We'll talk about that. I have many notes on that, but yeah, we could have found anyone better. I don't know.
I agree with that.
Come on, Val. Don't be a liability.
Hot take.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any hot takes?
True leader.
Yeah, not built. She built the same.
Yeah, that's all I had for this episode.
All right. Anyone else? Any closing thoughts?
I'm looking. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. That's episode 4.